StockinetteZombies. I'm Amy, also known as Jay Nitma.
And I'm Megan, also known as Just Run It, and this is episode 444. 444. Yeah.
Yay! That won't happen again for a while. Like three numbers
Yeah.
or
For a
three
good long
imaginary.
bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, when we hit 500 episodes, that'll be something. It's
Yeah.
a years away, but that'll be something.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's just chaos here between the retreat and my kids' summer plans and work. It's nonstop. And
Agreed.
I feel like my brain is so finely segmented that nothing's getting the right amount of attention.
Yeah. No, I was trying to share with people at work that like A didn't know that I have a graduate, you have a graduate, B that some of them varying levels of knowing about our event. And then I'm like, and then there's all kinds of other stuff going on, right? So yeah, it's it's a busy time. It's a busy time in our lives. I think if we watched the episodes last year where we were like, and next year we're going to be so busy with our graduates and whatever, we had an idea, but we didn't have the quite the idea. So yeah, grad party here this weekend that we're trying to plan for didn't have like people RSVP or anything like that. So
Okay.
Ellie wants for me to let you know that you are invited if you would
Oh,
like.
thank you.
So she's
Yeah,
just
we
like, come, come, come. I'm like, okay. I have no idea how much food to order.
yeah,
But
we had a finite number of people that we got invited, but I didn't really put out an RSVP or, let me know because I
yeah,
knew it was going to happen regardless. So we did have a lot of surprise people that came, like, oh, you're here. Great. That's wonderful,
yeah.
So at least two sets of people that we didn't expect to be there and or hadn't told one of the myriad of people that were coming that they were also coming. But yeah, it was a good event. Lots of family time there, but then by the time, an hour pre-graduation, we were off to the Civic Center to get all of that done. And then we
Yeah.
came back
You guys had
to,
the late shift, right? Mail was at 1 o'clock in the
oh
afternoon,
yeah.
which was nice. Or was it no, it was 11. Sorry, goodness.
Yeah, ours
Early.
was 3 in the afternoon. Yeah, so we weren't the
Yeah.
late.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Century was the late, like 7 o'clock one.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa. But yeah, we went to Crave, had a lot of like memories of ZK because most of the time when I go to Crave, it's with ZKers, and a lot of graduates there afterwards. But it was a good time. Super, super proud of our graduates. And thank you, Kelly, for the congratulations. Yeah, it's definitely one of those things where I didn't think, I mean, she's so independent and she's so, this was always something that she was going to do, that it was going to be, so overwhelmingly emotional, but it was like this is a point, right? This
Mhm.
is like this is what we've been growing and nurturing for to get to this point, and everything after this is just it's her, right?
Yeah.
Deciding what she's going to do with her life. It's crazy.
My mom reminded me that I left in June because I wanted to start a job before college started. And I was like, oh, I forgot that I didn't wait all the way to the end of summer. I was gone. I was
Yeah.
like,
My mom was also pointing that out to Ellie. Like, none of my kids came back for after they left, right? Like, we all had summer jobs
yeah,
in our college town, or were taking summer classes or whatever. So she was
yes.
like, might not be. And I'm like, I mean, it's fine if she doesn't come back for long, shorter periods of time other than the holidays. But it was also like, don't be telling her story. So yeah. But yes,
Yeah.
very, very awesome. In addition to all the other awesome stuff that we have going on and have planned for everybody coming to ZK in a few short, I think we can say days at this point, right? Like weeks was
Oh,
Class signups are out there. You can sign up for a
Yes.
maximum of two right now, but on Friday it's a free for all.
Yeah.
Please do pay attention to the schedule. It is morphing. So I
Yes.
know I saw out there that somebody I had missed that somebody hadn't done the $25 yarn swap, and now somebody else has signed up to do it. So the yarn swap is back in.
Yeah.
If that changes your packing plans and
Yeah,
your itinerary.
100%. Yeah, we've had a couple of people jump in and offer your Pokemon walk wasn't on the official
Yep,
class
adding that.
list.
Yep.
So we're adding a Pokemon walk. That will be part of the events email that goes out. And then also with the events email, that visual schedule will be updated and at the top of the ZK website up until, we get to the post ZK. So you can visit the schedule right there. We
Yeah.
might also have a sponsors post, but it won't push it down too far. Um, it should be in that first page as we get closer and closer to the event. And speaking of sponsors, every day a new package arrives from our wonderful and generous sponsors. I have one of our goodie bag yarns and two tracking informations for the other ones. So very excited to see all of that land here. And then yeah, you've had a few things arrive. Everything's coming together. But like I said, my brain slice for the retreat is so small that I feel like I'm worried that I'm forgetting something. But I know from past experience that no matter what, we will have a bunch of people coming to Rochester and they're going to really enjoy themselves
Yeah.
and
I was trying to think
it's
of things that
not going to
bubbled
be a
up in my, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that I'm worried and but I know from experience that it all just kind of works out.
Yeah, absolutely. We forget how much we know and have done. So yeah, things that I was going to call out. We often they don't have the Thursdays downtown because we're
Oh,
having Rochester Fest at the same time. So wanted to call out this year the way that things fell. Rochester Fest will be starting after our event. So the Thursdays downtown will be happening, which is a really cool street fair with lots of great food, lots of different types of crafts. So yeah, you'll have 3 full days of shopping if you're really interested in it, with crafting items between Thursdays downtown, Friday with our yarn truck rodeo, and then the ballroom extravaganza that I am so very excited about. I've been being very virtuous and not necessarily buying a lot of yarn. So
mhm.
yeah, I do feel a little overwhelmed by my stash currently, which I
Mm.
think is what's causing me to not hit the buy button. But definitely looking for some interesting bases and some beautiful colors. Um, so yeah, lots of great stuff going on there. I think that the KAL the craft along entries are open until the 17th, which is the Monday. So you've got 2 full weekends to wrap up those items. That's all out on the zombienetpocalypse.com webpage. It's not like a Discord thing. It's all forms that submit that, and then we have a fun little dashboard that you can see your results as things get approved. And I was thinking there was one other thing that I wanted to mention, but now I'm forgetting it about ZK. But yeah, it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, the street Thursdays on first and third, they also have a
Now Thursday's downtown because I think it's taken over
oh,
more than first and third.
okay.
But
Thursdays
yes.
downtown has live music and street vendors for food as well as shopping, and it's a big event.
Mhm.
There'll be a lot of people that join our activities here on Thursday. Um, Thursdays on first. Again, it's a big destination, so people like take time to go down for lunch, and families kind of use it as a day trip. They come in with strollers and do it. It's a really fun time. And then when the music starts, then it becomes a party, people drinking and having a good time with music. So yeah, it's a really fun thing that Rochester does all summer long uh, on Thursdays. So
Yeah,
it's
and
fun.
yeah, I second that it's definitely a sight to behold. And it feels kind of special because, like I said, sometimes we don't have it, like they have it because they don't want to have it and have it compete between. Sometimes they do things for Rochester Fest, and sometimes I think there's been several years that we haven't had it for weather. So
Oh,
yeah, hoping that we have fabulous weather. It's definitely cooled down here, which
mhm.
last night on the VK and people were like, "Can you keep it that?" And I'm like, as much as I try, I cannot control the weather. I think it's supposed to spike a little bit like early next week. But yeah, hopefully by the time everybody's arriving, we're in these nice 60s and 70s, rather than the blast furnace that was last year. I think again, that was kind of a blip. But
Usually,
there's
yeah, we hope
always
so.
there's always the air conditioning, like that. I feel like I always wear long sleeve things because I'm cold in the air conditioning. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well, yeah, I
Uh,
don't know what else we got for the retreat going on. Did you think of something?
I did not, but yeah, I believe, we have Sam Guerin as our speaker. And I
Yes.
believe a lot of people are bringing their oh, it's not Springline. I have Springline on the brain. Their salty air teas,
Oh,
and we're
yes.
going to try to have a big yeah, Friday night picture with all of the salty airs and Sam. So excited about that as well. And that's got to be awesome for her to see all of them. It's a very potato chippy fabulous pattern. I've thought about
Yes.
making it again because it fits really nicely, like a lot of my summer teas, right? It's kind of like a summer tea top, and yeah, the lace is very is it's a lot of fun. So
I have enough of her summer tops that I could wear it, one for the retreat every day. And I might just do that just to simplify my packing. And so I have a feeling that I will be holding up a project for the salty air because I have it sitting there needle adjacent, but I was bound and determined to finish um, my
woo!
Alpine Bloom.
Oh, it's so pretty. And that's you were doing color changes there, right? Like that hasn't automatically happened. I'm
Yeah, there's
remembering,
five
right?
colors in here
Yeah.
that I did. Um, so that was a self-created gradient with a purposeful gradient of three of the colors, and then two that were mixed in from my stash.
Mhm.
The only thing that, oh, I should say I'm happy. After a wash and block, the one that was skinnier than the rest bloomed and filled in really nicely. I was a little worried about this section here because the yarn, as I was working with it, was a lot thinner. But it washed
Yeah.
and bloomed and it filled in really nicely.
So pretty.
And
I definitely see you styling that with like maybe a darker navy skirt or even like a papau pink that kind of
oh yeah.
coordinates.
So I'm going to share my dirty little secret that I might not fix before the retreat. Here's a sleeve,
Okay.
and here's sleeve number two.
Was I supposed to notice something was different? Oh, the link. No?
It's right here. There's
Double row. Got it.
well, and it's
Nobody's going
even
to notice.
yeah, well, and if you look, it's an eyelet row,
Oh,
and it is missing over here. So I'm sure this was the first sleeve. And I was like, yep, this is exactly what the pattern is telling me to do. I'm doing it great, wonderful. And then I got to the second one and I was like, oh yeah, I'm done.
autopilot. Yeah.
Pilot. Didn't check the pattern before I grafted it on.
Yeah, I definitely have yeah, done that before.
And I
Even recently. Yeah.
and I did not notice until I threw it in the bath. It was bathing when I was like, wait a minute, the sleeves are
Yeah. Actually, I think Laura's out there saying that it's gorgeous. Also, she's trying to get her salty air done in time, which I think you can totally do it. She's amazing. Laura's amazing. And then it's a design element. I also think it could be like a study. Like you could be like, is this arm receiving more ventilation and I feel cooler on one side versus the other? I think it could be a real research project, Amy.
Right. Right. Well, so the beauty of it is that the fix would be to ungraft the side with the ventilation and then just remove and regraft, right? So I can keep it like this as long as I want and then come back and I would have enough extra yarn to do the modification. Um, so you might have see some strings that are in my underarm because I'm like trying to not weave them in just yet.
That makes sense.
But and then I had made some TV slippers. This is a pattern that my mother-in-law's mother uh, had in her I don't know, just her knitting things, and she had made them a lot for family members. And they sent me the pattern in an envelope along with some photos of Matt from when he was baby. And I was cleaning out the guest bedroom for our company and found it. And so of course I had to cast on immediately. So I found some wool-ease in my stash. So just, a basic wool. This is held double
Oh,
throughout,
wow. Yeah.
and it's very, very cute. I found that if I'm wearing socks, they tend to fall off a little more than if I'm not wearing socks. So kind of better as a barefoot slipper. And yeah, so just a quick and easy, simple pattern that I threw in there because of nostalgia.
Hmm.
And then I'm not sure if I've talked about these before when they were finished. So I got my little boxes.
So pretty. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I also finally finished my tube sock. Um, they've been kind of needle, like as I come to them, I work on them project,
Hmm.
but super quick if I had stuck with them. And yeah, that's all I brought out. I did finish my anchor tee in yellow. I'm pretty sure I wore that in the last FO. If not, I wore it and you saw it um, between the last whips.
What
And
about the Saga of the Stain? Did it come out?
no, but it is less noticeable than you think. So I've worn the thing to work, and I'm going to wash it and dry it a few more times, just and let it be and see if I notice it going forward. But yeah, it's less noticeable now that it's done than it was
Hmm.
before.
Yeah.
But knowing it's there, you can still see it for sure. Um, it's just a matter of, is that an oil? Is that a little discoloration or is it a shadow? You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. That's kind of a bummer, but also like, yeah, I think we are because we know like we are our worst our worst
right.
critics on our items, right? Like nobody else would yeah. When I show my FOs, you'll hear a very similar story. So our lived knitting experience is similar. So yeah, I'm wearing an FO. I made this kind of do-it-yourself striping top with the neckline that was similar to the one that I made last year. I've made just like a ton, or I've worn it a ton, right? Like I even brought it along to wear over the top of my dress. For graduation, my pink one that I made last year. This has is lavender loon in a base that has mohair in it. So I don't know if you're seeing the halo a little bit there.
Yes.
But like greens and blues and purples kind of intermixed. And I really enjoy that. This is Leading Men Fiber Arts Krampus. It also does some things, right? But like in general, they're never like doing the same dark color a lot at the same time. So it kind of gives it like a ethereal, like it's not like sharp stripes, right? Like so like through here, right? You're seeing it's not like sharp stripes, but then there are places where it's a little sharper. So as you can see, like the main color I always was doing 2 rows, and then the contrast I was doing 2 rows and then 1 row and then 2 rows and then 1 row. And that really kind of gave me something to do. It made it super potato chippy. And it made it such that I didn't need too much of the contrast color, but not so much, right? So that I was going to run out because I only had the one skein of that.
Hmm.
So yeah, I made it really long, which you're not going to be able to see on camera here, but like it's very very long. Because I was just like, let's have the speed super, super long. And if I need to block it super wide, I can. But very airy fabric. I'm making a tank right now that's like a fingering and basically a lace weight held together. And it just feels very heavy because it's the same, like it's on a 6, right?
Hmm.
So this is fingering weight on a 6. It's just very drapey and airy fabric, and just a really light layer, almost like the Love Notes or the Ranunculus, right? Like just a super airy fabric that I'm super enjoying. And then last year on the yarn truck with Jenna, I got 2 skeins of a specklicious yarn. You girls are my type of superhero. I think I can't remember. I think I had made the Elton, or I was thinking about the Elton and like how I really loved the speckle with a solid. So I had a purple that I paired with it. This is actually the neckline for the pedal party prop.
Hmm.
And then instead of doing like the 2 lines of the pattern, I put in the monkey sock
Oh.
lace. So that's the back. And then on the front, it's a panel. So they've got it's flanked by some purl stitches. It does some interesting things with the, why I chose the monkey pattern was because like when I make it on socks, right? Like it just handles everything that you throw at it. It's a pretty crazy I'm not gonna lie. But I really love it. And I really love so at one point, I think you can see like this is a lot lighter than this. And so I was like, I was alternating skeins. It was just kind of where the skeins had kind of
Hmm.
gathered up. And I was thinking about like possibly ripping it out. I'm like, who is going to see this part of it at the same time as they see this part of it? No one. Like,
Right.
unless I'm like trying to do like like a side by side, right? So I'm like, nope, it's gonna be fine. It'll be viewed from the back at one point and the front at another. And again, super like, fingering weight on 6s, super airy. And then for the sleeves, I knit them as knitting, but then, flipped them inside out as pearls. And I really like that with a super crazy colorway. So this is pedal party-esque. It's not necessarily, it's the form, but I threw some stitches, a different stitch pattern and some different design elements in on it. Also, the pedal party does not have ribbing here. Um, I put that on after the fact because I wanted it to be a little higher neck than it was going to end up.
Yeah.
When I
Yeah,
wear
they're
them
very
on
long.
Zooms, I want to make sure that my bra straps aren't visible, right? For a professional work look. And I
I
don't want to
wore a
constantly have to be, yeah.
Yeah, segue. I wore a tank top yesterday and it was low enough that like I had a huge block of skin in video calls and I'm like, okay, I'm not doing that ever again. I looked great in person,
Yeah.
but I was like, oh gosh, this is not good.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
mental note that tank top is not a work tank top.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like I've gotten a lot of yardage, mileage out of this heliotrope by it's my favorite like purple mixer from Leading Men Fiber Arts. And so had some of that laying around and added it because I ran out of yarn. So at
Mhm.
one point I had, the body on cords. I was working the sleeves two at a time with like whatever. Yeah. And so at the end I was like, okay, I want it to be a little longer. So I'm going to add some purple ribbing on both on the sleeves and then decided to add the collar as well. So yeah, that one will likely, it's not a Sam Garin top when you at first glance, but that one will likely be at ZK as well because I'm proud that I knit that yarn that I bought.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
100%.
yeah, and then last but certainly not least, these were the socks that got me through. I almost like again the person that did the metal detector check and bag check at the whatever was like, you're not going to stab anybody with those needles. The heck? But yeah, I had so these are a leading men fiber arts and colorway, and this is the the expanding community, which ZK always makes me think of. I think I was like I was into the second sock when my husband was like, "What's that?" I was like, "If you want me to make socks, you have to wear your socks that I've made you." Well, they're my dress socks, and I don't go into work anymore. I wear socks around the house all the time that aren't just for for dress. So yeah, I really like what Expanding Community does with kind of some of those busy colorways. Speaking of the monkeys, and super addictive because you're watching those V's
Mm-hmm.
go out. But yeah, I thought they were a lot of fun, and I will be wearing these at ZK. So
Very fun.
yeah.
Nice collection. Yeah, my needle adjacent project is a salty air out of a Coleman light in a gray. It's very beautiful. And I am inspired from all of our talk to get it cast on. I was working on a tank top out of a very speckly color or busy color work or color that came from Suburban Stitcher. And I've been really enjoying it's just stockinette right now, you
Yeah.
know? And so you're inspiring me to go put on something a little bit more complicated, but still very potato chippy. And I have a feeling that I will zoom through it in the next week and you'll just be watching me try to add length to it at the retreat. And maybe by the end, I'll
I
be
did
able to wear it.
remember, please sign up for the 5K. We've got some awesome goodies that have arrived
Excited.
for the attendees there. I was going to mention, I know you have a runner in the family.
Yes.
If there's any interest there, they should join us.
Okay.
But always welcome. Always.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see if
Yeah.
they're not working.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You were talking about the jobs. So yeah, probably not gonna probably yeah, it's definitely during the workday on a Friday. So but yes,
Yep.
yeah, get signed up there. Again, your prediction doesn't have to be anywhere near if that's not your aim, right? Like if you're not trying to win. But always good to have an idea of how many are showing up. So
Yes.
all very exciting. Okay,
All right. Bye.
bye, Ufta. All right, I hit